Every building tells a story, and Morgan Kennedy helps decide how those stories get built. Today on If You Didn't Know, we're talking architecture, community, and the future of Denton. Denton's got it all: the food, the music, the art, and of course the people. And behind every corner, there's a story worth sharing. And that's what this podcast is all about. Denton's best, one conversation at a time. I'm Brad, and this is If You Didn't Know, Now You Know. Welcome back to another episode of If You Didn't Know. Excited to have Morgan. Morgan,
Thanks, Brad.
What do you think of this space?
I love this space.
Have you ever been in here before?
I came and sat down and I thought, whoever designed this did a really good job picking out all these finishes.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I love this space. It's really comfortable.
Thank you. Well, we call this kind of the den, this bigger area, and this is the studio in the den. But all of this definitely was inspired. Lots of inspiration from a variety of sources, but you helped pull it all together. Yeah. And I really appreciate it because I love this space. And so that's kind of what we're wanting to talk about today, the way you help get people's ideas or kind of their dreams out of their head and into their houses or commercial buildings or offices or whatever they're working on. So
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for asking me to join you and talk to you a bit today about architecture, design.
It's
your
fun.
Space, all the things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Morgan, why don't we start with a little bit, where you kind of a little background first.
Yes.
I know you don't want to talk a lot about that, but a little background, where you grew up and kind of how you got into architecture. But let's start where'd you grow up?
I love that when I sat down in this chair, you didn't know. So
no, I still don't know. I still don't know. Tell me. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I grew up in Plano. So not far from here.
Actually, I knew that.
I grew up in Plano, and I personally, I developed community through my church. My mom was really involved. She was actually a senior pastor of a church in the community.
Yeah.
But I felt like the built environment of Plano was not so... it wasn't walkable. You didn't see your neighbors. You didn't see your friends. All of the houses were the same.
Yeah.
And at that time in my life, I was a designer in terms of I would redo my room, decorate. I was the person in my family who would decorate everything in the house.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be an artist or a dancer. I was a national champion dance performer. And I thought of interior design potentially. And it was my dad plus my art teacher who thought, you're really good at math. You also love design, maybe architecture.
Huh.
And I was also involved with my mom's. She was leading capital campaigns for the church construction projects. And so I was seeing behind the scenes what it was like to build these huge facilities. And all of it got me interested.
Yeah.
I found myself at Oklahoma State University, which was not too far away, but far enough that I could kind of
be on your own,
have my own experience in life. And I remember my freshman year of architecture school being in the seats and listening to Suzanne Field-Bassey, who is incredible, and talking about architecture. And if there was a slide that said, if architecture is meant for you, these things, you'll feel these things. Yeah. And I'm reading them and I got the goosebumps and I got the feeling like that's me.
Everything, yeah.
And it wasn't just design. It was community. It was impact. It was like my desire to be art or graphics design, but in a physical space that impacts a very long time, years. Yeah. I mean, you build a building, it's there for 50, 100 years.
Yeah, hopefully longer, right?
For longer. And so you're making these decisions that really impact people and make a difference. And it's community based. None of the projects, even though I'm big A architect, I'm not the person who's really making it happen. Right. I see myself as a guide in the middle of this
little Sherpa. Actually.
I'm in the middle of all these people. And it's really important that every single person that I work with on the project is heard, that they have direction, they are invested in it just as much as I am. And then I can help those people, and then we go. Yeah.
Well, we'll get more into some of the stuff we're working on together now, but I have always appreciated that working with you, that I don't feel like you're shoving your ideas down my throat. It's like, we got to do it this way.
Yeah.
You're certainly vocal about your ideas or what you think or what would work, or give feedback on ideas that we have. But, it's not like it's my way or the highway. And I've worked with some architects that kind of take a little more of that, this is my project. It's not really your project. You're helping me. And it's really important, but
that's my personal philosophy. I have worked at 3 very high-end firms doing completely different things. And one of them, we say the term starchitect. And that is, but I will say that when you bring an expert to the team, there are things I want to bring my expertise that's helpful. I want to try to find things that might go wrong, that I've done this before, and let's make sure this doesn't happen again kind of experience. And this is easier. This is more cost effective. And leveraging the knowledge of the years of experience to get something great.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. So where were these 3 different firms? I mean, in Oklahoma was one of them there?
I'll go back to college just briefly. Architecture school is one of the hardest things anybody will ever do.
So a lot of math in it?
Or it's more just like time consuming. And I think it tests your brain in a diverse way where you're having to do the math, you're having to do the art. So the first 2 years of my schooling, you're doing everything by hand. So you're learning it the old school drafting way. You're building models from scratch, and then you transition to computer and technology. Mm-hmm. So you have to be somebody who really loves to learn. And I'm thankful for my career because I am continually learning. Every year, I have to learn something new. Right now, it's AI rendering. How do you integrate AI into your rendering platforms where it's still true to you? You're the artist. You're the one dictating it, and it meets the client's needs. And it's a very interesting, there's always something new. Teaching classes at UNT was eye-opening of you're seeing the students going back through that learning process, and it inspired some stuff. It's like, oh, I could do it this way. There's always new technologies. Mm-hmm. So in architecture school, you start the program, and in my class, there's 300 students. 30 of those students graduate.
Wow. So you're like entry-level architecture? Is that what you're teaching over there? Or what's
at UNT. So
you're saying at when you went to Oklahoma State. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, at Oklahoma State.
Wow.
As a freshman, you go in with 300 classmates.
About
and everybody
10%
is like,
get through the program.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's their choice.
Yeah.
It's not.
They realize after a few semesters,
like,
this isn't for
this.
me.
This
it's a lot of work or whatever.
And you really have to love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a specific kind of mindset. It's and for people who find it, it's very rewarding. It's a feeling of, there's like, for me, so have you ever heard of people say architects pull a lot of all-nighters? They go to architecture school, they don't sleep.
Okay, yeah.
And this is true, but it just kind of depends on the person. Some people are way worse than others. It's time management.
Yeah.
But you can always continue to reiterate on a design. So you have to tell yourself, this is good enough. Stop. Right. Because there's
never
so
feel like
many
it's
times
perfect. Yeah.
And there has to be a line. And the deadline is that line. I have to submit it at 5:00 on Friday. And so you're staying up all night to try to get it as good as possible towards that deadline. You submit it. You're so proud. The next day you're like, oh my gosh. And there's like this joy feeling that you completed this thing. Some people have, why am I doing this? I'm wasting my life. Right. And then others, it feels like a marathon. Mm-hmm. You ran this race, you ran it well, and you're like really proud about the outcome that you achieved. So it's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of hard work. Yeah. And I was very shocked my senior year when I was awarded the Caudle Traveling Fellowship. Yeah. I was not expecting it.
So what is this?
This is awarded to one student in the entire class.
Wow.
For international travel study. And you sketch while you're traveling, and you submit the sketchbook back to the university, and they publish it.
Very cool.
I'm like published.
Okay. Traveling like
anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want.
Yeah. And I wasn't able to travel in Europe during my studies, which at the time that I was there, it wasn't a required thing to do, but now it is.
Okay.
And I was one of the people who was like, this should be required.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's so important for designers, architects to be in the world. And I would say strongly urban spaces, urban environments.
Yeah.
And not just see it, but live there. And one of the things that I did during my travel study was I stayed in an Airbnb that was off the outskirts of the tourist zones for weeks at a time. So I experienced the transit and the development, and I studied it from the perspective of what does it look like to truly live in this urban space, what's working, what's not. Mm-hmm. And it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
And because of that too, I really wanted to live in an urban environment continuously. And so my first job was in Seattle, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked an apartment that was downtown in the middle of it all. And I would say I was definitely very naive to urban life.
Yeah.
Coming from suburban Plano Christian kid to
Right.
Seattle urban life. And I mean, you would wake up and outside your window, you're seeing people who slept there that night.
Right.
And it wasn't something that I had seen before.
Right.
And I'm walking to the office, my big girl architecture job, and seeing homelessness. And
Yeah.
it was really interesting and how the built environment collaborates with that.
Mm-hmm.
I was on transit to the office and to my house where one of them, there's shootings at my literal bus stop.
Wow.
So, but I don't want that to be a negative in the sense that it's just the complexity of these spaces that we design and we build. And as soon as you put a lot of people together, it creates this communal feeling.
Right.
This, I see my neighbor, I see people on the streets. I know we as humans, I think we like seeing our neighborhood. We like feeling like we're part of a community. I think Denton is a really good example of that. And I've loved living here. I'm going to keep talking forever if you don't stop me. I have another thought.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Which is that when I was graduating from college, we actually had some good friends in this city, our best friends. And I was like, I want to live in Denton.
Really?
Yes. And I'll never forget this. It was the summer before I knew I was moving to Seattle. And I was like, Denton is the perfect place. It's near my family.
Yeah.
It's not too far, but it has its own culture. It has its own character. It's walkable. It feels urban, but it also has a historic aspect. It has old homes. It has new homes.
Right.
There's land and the culture and the restaurants. And I wanted to live here, but I didn't feel like there was the right architecture jobs for my growth. And so it's just really funny.
There probably wasn't.
At the time, there wasn't.
Yeah.
I wanted to be as challenged as possible, and I wanted to learn how to do it. I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to see it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, and I think, seeing different parts of the country or the world and kind of bringing in that perspective back home, so to speak, or where you eventually want to apply your craft, whatever that may be, is valuable. It adds a lot more layers to what you can do beyond just saying, well, I've seen Denton and this is what I know, right? So I think that adds a lot to what you are and who you are now. Very cool.
Thank
so
you.
where else other than Seattle?
So after Seattle, we loved living there, except for the winters were terrible.
Yeah.
Being a Texas girl and seeing the sun every single day.
Yeah.
And then going 6 months without seeing the sun was crazy.
That's hard.
I was not expecting, I wasn't motivated. It was hard for me to get myself to do anything. But besides that, we just wanted to move closer to family and friends, and it was time. So, and it's expensive too. And we had an opportunity to move to Oklahoma City. And so we took that and really excited about it. And so that was my second firm experience. So my first firm experience was at Callison RTKL as specialty retail division. I worked on Nordstrom Rack all over the country and AT&T. So I actually led a 300 store rebranding effort for exterior design, signage, and interior branding of AT&T's. It was the year that they converged with DirecTV. They purchased them, and then they rebranded everything. So I led an effort, half of the country on that one. And then some Nordstrom Racks. And then when I moved to Oklahoma City, I got the opportunity to work at Alfred Hall Monahan Morris. This is a London-based design firm that has a satellite office in Oklahoma City. And the story is just that the studio director who worked in London was from Oklahoma City. And he was like, I want to give back to my neighborhood. And started building this small little satellite office of less than 10 people. It's still going strong today. And that's the firm where I learned how to do it from beginning to end. And I saw architecture as a design holistically. So I learned the most there. I worked so many hours.
Yeah.
We also, while we were there, my husband opened a donut shop. It was called Theo's Donuts.
And this was in like
it was in a food hall.
Food hall, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I think that my time in Oklahoma City taught me a lot about being involved in the community, seeing the collaborations, what it takes to really make a project happen, branding, design, contractors' involvement, design builds, residential work, high-end residential, commercial, adaptive reuse. We did a couple of projects that had the NPS overrating on them. old brick house buildings that, had been
Right.
abandoned for a really long time.
Right.
And then all of the key members that require what it takes to make this project happen. It's not one person. It's
Yeah.
a huge group of people. And they also have a great, people show up for ULI, which is Urban Land Institute, there. And Denton has a few things like that for people who are interested.
Yeah.
We've got Town Makers and Stronger Denton, which are two organizations I've
Great groups.
showed up a couple of times and would like to attend more. But there's a lot of great things happening in Denton, and I want to see it continue to improve.
Yeah. Well, I think I've told you this, that and it's taken me a couple of decades of trying to build cool or nice, some kind of, quality project, to realize that I want to start with the architect.
Oh.
and I actually want to start with,
I love that.
not only start with the architect, but I want the architect to kind of quarterback the whole project in a way. Along kind of that if I can find an architect that I really like working with that understands my vision of the project, we're kind of the two-headed monster that kind of oversees everything. But really, if as an architect, if you can oversee that civil and those other, design professionals, the MEP guys or whatever, that you can kind of push out all of this vision and keep it consistent throughout, and rather than me piecemealing it out to different people. And I've tried it that way. And it doesn't typically work all that
Everybody,
well.
are you listening?
Yeah.
Are you listening? Brad has tried it and it did not
It doesn't
work
well. I mean, it can work. And there's maybe some times where that's still,
there's the three
you might want
players.
to start with.
You've got the owner, architect, contractor, OAC meetings, owner, architect, contractor. Owner is Brad and a lot of our relationships. The architect is your design team, your permitting, and then all the people underneath it. And then you have your contractor who is building it. And
that's an important piece
those,
too.
I think knowing who those people are at the very beginning, that's your guiding team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then there's external experts that support those players, but you have to have those right.
Having that contractor, you made a great point. Having that contractor involved early in the process, that's kind of, some would say maybe a design build, but even if it's not that, at least they're giving you some feedback along the way. Hey, you can do that if you want. Just know that this is going to cost this kind of money versus that. And
I've worked on, if you could ask me, I worked on every different type of project now to date. And I have seen all the different contractor options. So I've seen on residential side and commercial side, the design bid build versus the design build process. And these are two completely different things. And depending on what your project is, you want to figure out what kind of contractor do I even need for this one? What's the best? And so knowing, you could start with your architect or you could start with your contractor, but you need to find the right team for your project.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, so I think we kind of gleaned out of your growing up and what.
Unless you can think of anything else.
What pulled you into this direction? But it seems like you're in the perfect spot.
I'm happy. I'm glad that I got my architecture license. That was a big one. It took me 6 years. It normally takes a minimum of 3 or so.
Yeah.
And I was just working so much, but getting the license is the last big step. If anybody listening is like, I want to be an architect someday, the schooling's hard. It's 5-6 years of school. And then you have 3 years of basically an apprenticeship position. And then you're taking your exams, which there's 6 very hard exams. Each one is about 4 hours long. And then once you're done, you get to be architect. Big A. You're not just a drafter or an architectural designer. You are an architect. And I'm glad I got that achievement.
Well, before we talk about your current business, I want to hit just broadly one last thought on where your industry is going. You mentioned AI earlier, at least in renderings. What are you seeing? What are you thinking about how AI is going to impact your industry and what you do?
I think that, oh man, what a hard question. It comes
who
down,
knows for sure, but
at the end of the day, big architect, it's a license. The city requires certain things to do certain kinds of projects. And when you want to do a certain kind of work, like what we're doing in Denton, you need to have certain team members in place, and we have to work with the city. AI can't replace that. You can never replace that. Some of these smaller jobs, it's just going to, and this is already happening in our world. You see the repeat of the same thing over and over again. That's easy. It's the building industry, the architecture industry can become a assembly line of sorts where
Yeah.
it's just like a storage
Right.
facility.
Right.
We just are going to do the same thing again and again.
Right.
It's a repeat model. I think AI can support those kinds of
Mhm.
jobs, but the architect in the sense of guiding, directing, leading, team building, and when we're talking about being mindful of spaces that have value from time, they are historically significant, they have cultural context, not just demoing
Right.
and replacing,
Right.
but honoring and building within, reusing what we have. You need somebody who can think creatively, that can work well on a team to make that happen. That is actually a more complex, much more complex and challenging project type than any of the others. It takes a lot more thoughtful solutions, quick on your feet, good communication,
Mm-hmm.
and working together.
You're kind of referring to like an adaptive reuse.
That's the term that
Yeah.
we use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
Adaptive
hard.
reuse.
It'd be hard for AI to just understand that and figure it all out, right?
They'll give you some fun ideas.
Yeah, yeah,
I will say, for AI, there's a couple of new programs that you
Mhm.
can just like even get for free. But I will dump in, and architects are using this, and people are teaching this ideation.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want the feeling to be, I'm doing a high-end home in Albany, Bahamas. Okay.
Okay.
And so then I'm like, I want it to feel like the Bahamas, but I need it to, these are some ideas. And you can dump some
Yeah.
things together, mix it in the bag, see what it comes up with. But it will never replace.
Well, I wouldn't have
My-
expected you to say that it's going to replace. I hope
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't.
can't.
I don't think it will, but from an outsider perspective and one who likes to use AI in different ways, I could see it really supplementing and helping.
It supplements.
And
Mhm.
if it can be quote unquote a team member,
Yeah.
on your team
Yeah.
to help, with some creative
Yeah.
ideas or,
It's helping me with code analysis.
Right.
It's like, can you remind me please where I find this?
Exactly.
I'm trying to do this in this building. My use is this. What's my fire rating for these walls? I mean, I check my stats.
Yeah.
Can you give me the location where I can find this in the IBC?
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, now it's MKOA Studio, right? Right here in Denton. So you
Yes.
started, when did you start this company?
Oh my gosh. Well, wow. I started thinking I was just going to work on architecture part-time while being a mom.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit to decide, okay, now I want to be a mom. I've always wanted to be a mother, but it was around 9 years of work experience, almost
Yeah.
10 years of work experience. I'm pregnant. I'm really excited. I'm having a boy. And I don't want to abandon this career that I've built.
Yeah.
And I had a very unique opportunity to continue working with Alex and Brad.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for that, because it gave me
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity to keep working in the architecture world. And then pretty quickly, people
More
kept
jobs
coming.
kept coming. Yeah.
Yeah. It was as if like the network of everyone I've known over the past 9 years, like, oh, you're on your own? Can
Here
we
you
work
go.
with you?
Yeah.
Which is a huge blessing. And I'm really thankful for that. But
Well, it really speaks to how you treated people and
That's
the kind of
kind.
work you did. I mean, it's a compliment to you when people are saying, okay, now I can work just with you. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
right. So,
And I've been so honored, and it's been really fun. And then I kept growing that I couldn't maintain the capacity. And so I next step, I don't want to say no to jobs. So,
Yeah.
and I could have talked about it a lot. It was like, I could just stay a solo architect working from home. But I've decided that it gives me purpose and value to be part of a team. Monday, as much as I loved my children the last 2 weeks, I was so happy to be back in my office with my team. I was like giddy. They laughed at me because I'm like, I'm back. And it just feels really good to be a part of a group. I love being able to hire young people that
Mm-hmm.
I see myself in them. I want to
Mhm.
encourage and promote them and give them all the resources that I maybe didn't even have. And it just all feels collectively like really rewarding.
Yeah.
And it makes my life really meaningful.
Mhm.
So I'm now technically I'm a team of 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 6. I've
Okay.
got me and 2 others full-time, 2 part-time, and then 1 like consultant.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 6 of us that sort of collaborate on different projects, and I'm managing that. MKOA was Morgan Kennedy Office of Architecture.
Okay.
That's my technical LLC.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned it over to studio.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Well, I like your office. I like the fact that it's near us, by
Yeah,
the way.
it's next door to
Just
you.
pop over and say, hey, where is this stand?
I do want to
Can you-
mention that one really cool thing about my company is that it is not just architecture.
Yeah.
That I've been really lucky to have seen the complexity of a full project from full architecture, full interiors, even branding and graphics.
Yes.
And I've been the owner when I was
Right.
doing the donut shop. So I understand what it's like to, it's your own money.
Mm-hmm.
It's your own resources.
Mm-hmm.
In homes too, constructing homes,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot. And it's cool that I'm able to create a team that
Mm-hmm.
is so dynamically gifted.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And if somebody just needs some of those other services, don't
Right.
need full architecture, just I need some design help, or I've got a building, but I'm needing help kind of branding it, or something like
Mhm.
that. You really
Yeah.
can't. And I mean, we were in a meeting recently on a project we're working on that with the tenant, and it's like, hey, tenant, and
Yes.
I know this too, but you pointed out, it's like, let's make sure we think about your branding and where you're going
Yeah.
to put your sign, what it's going to look like.
Mhm.
Let's not leave that to the end and as an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
So,
Should we
that's-
tell everybody what we're working on?
oh, well, hopefully, let's just leave it broadly as a
Okay.
new restaurant in the downtown area.
We're so excited.
Yeah,
It's
we're
great.
very
It's an
excited.
adaptive reuse.
Yeah.
Brad and Morgan's favorite project type.
That's right.
Is
We love
adaptive
it.
reuse.
Mhm.
Renovation. Using what's there, making it awesome.
Yeah.
Branding it.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna say. New restaurant coming soon.
Keep going. I'll stop you when
It's
you've gone too far.
downtown. You can walk to the square. You can walk to other restaurants. There's going to be a window outside where you can walk up to the window and get your food
Yeah.
or your alcohols
Yeah.
and walk. I guess there's a new
Outdoor
law.
seating.
There's outdoor
and-
seating.
Yeah. Little games outside.
Perfect Denton spot.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. We're excited to announce it soon. So not quite
Coming
yet, but
soon.
coming soon. But
Yes.
no, it's been a fun project to work on. And again, just having you as a part of the team, I mean, really help leading the team.
Yeah.
It's like, I just feel so confident in the direction we're heading. Obviously we need the tenant, the operator, the restaurateur's ideas and input, no doubt. I mean, that's critical, but to know that we can take that and help guide that. And, for me, long term, that hopefully this tenant's there
Mhm.
for the next 20, 30
Right.
years. But
Yeah.
if they're not, I'd need to think about what this building, how this would work for a future tenant. So all of those things, having you kind of lead that is like, it's just kind of a relief, right?
Good. Yeah,
To
I
know that
hope
I've
so.
got a strong professional on my side there.
Yeah.
So it's
a
been
blast.
fun. Well, so another term, I mean, you mentioned urban
Mm-hmm.
design, and I know you've picked up you've picked up a lot of that in Seattle, Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
and just through your
Mhm.
studies. But how do you see Denton is doing in that
Mhm.
kind of, it's better, so to speak, I want to say better than Plano, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we've got a great, with the downtown area, with the square, we've got the fabric of something already so great to work from. But
Right.
how do you think we're doing in general?
I think we're doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, how many cities do you know in this area of DFW that are maintaining bus lines and bike lanes and thinking about? I think we have people in this city that care about those things.
Yep.
When other cities might not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can always do more. I would love to see more infill that are housing that is not just apartments. Personally,
Mhm.
I'd like to see some more they call it middle
Right.
scale,
Mm-hmm.
townhomes, walkability.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that in mid height. But I think bringing more people to downtown is good for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my opinion.
Well, no, I
But-
think we're doing. Sometimes you get a little too close to the situation to kind of see maybe the progress we're making, and I feel like there is good progress being made. I guess I'm kind of thinking of the downtown area in particular.
I would challenge.
But I think there's still
Mhm.
a lot of ways to improve, and I think when you were hitting on earlier that kind of that community feel or just walking out and being able to go down here to the bakery or go over here to get the coffee or what, and we've got a lot of those things. Are they connected well enough yet? I think we still can make some headway there.
My headway that I would challenge is that there's a ton of growth in this area.
Yeah.
There's so much development happening. And every time I see it's a massive, large scale development of homes, out 10 minutes from Denton.
Right.
I think we have the money.
Yeah.
We have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
There is progress, and that's not wrong. But how do we make that happen in our urban spaces in a positive, good way where we're bringing, I don't know. I mean, more is it just because I'm greedy for restaurants in life? And like, I love those spaces. I think that the economic development team,
Yeah.
there's stats on this. When
Mm.
they improved Hickory Street,
Mm-hmm.
just the city block and the driveway, and they made it more walkable.
Right.
All the restaurants started thriving.
That's right.
And it's this wonderful thing that adds to my life. I get to go there
Yeah.
with my kids. I have memories outside
Exactly.
of El Taco H with them playing.
Right.
And that little park down there right next to Coochie's.
Yeah.
And all of that, the whole corner, it keeps the money here. It adds to our community, and we're supporting local.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that. And I just want more of that.
I want more of that too. Well, you know very well, because again, another project we're working on, I want to live downtown.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that happens. And I don't think I'm alone in that. And obviously the apartments, there's some new apartments being built downtown, and there's others, they stay full. The occupancy downtown is really strong on the residential side. It's pretty strong on the commercial side as well, but on the residential side, very, very strong. But I think we do need a couple more options kind of beyond just apartments, like you're saying, you know, and so for ownership,
I think so too.
not just rentals, ownership opportunities. And so I'm excited in the future to kind of find some of those type of opportunities.
I think walk-up townhomes would be really amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the New York brownstone kind of style is what people
Right.
think of when they think of the walk-up townhome, where the ownership, there's a fire rated wall in between them.
Mm-hmm.
So the longevity of that over time, over 50 to 100, 150 years, you're not dealing with the floor above me, the water leaked. Now I have to deal with the damage. Those have value that I think extends beyond our current lifetimes.
Yeah. Well, I think, and honestly, my definition of walkability has changed a little bit over the last couple of years. I'm trying to get at least 10,000 steps in a day. So I'm trying to walk anywhere I can, but I think we do have a fairly good, lots of businesses within a walking distance. And some would say, well, that's a pretty far walk, but, going down to,
they say it's
the
a 15
Denton
minute
cheese shop or whatever. I mean, that's not out of the question by any means if
Right.
you're living in the downtown area. Or I don't know if you've been over to the market behind the square. Have you been there? The new meat market down on North Locust.
92.
Oh, it's great.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And it's one of those places, just like a lot of the others down here, where you walk in and they know you. After the first time or second time, they know your name.
Yeah.
They know what you're coming for. Hey, I also want you to try this next time, or whatever. And so it's one of those kind of places that I think just makes the fabric of living in an urban area, or anywhere for that matter. But
I mean, when I was in urban design class in school, there's the radius. Have you ever heard this term? You're supposed to, the goal is that within a 15-minute walk, you can meet all your needs.
Okay.
And there's a word for it. I can't remember what it is right now, but that's the ideal. People are happier.
Yeah.
You can walk outside and go get what you need within a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
And you see the same people within those 15-minute circles. So it creates this community within the community. When we drive our long distances, we don't see anybody when we're driving.
Yeah.
And we're going such a far route that we're not crossing paths as naturally as we could. And we're happier people when we are part of society, community.
Yeah.
We have relationships.
Yeah.
We say hi to our friends, our neighbors.
Well, to me, as I've thought about trying to see more of those kind of small shops or even more restaurants or whatever you want to say, it's kind of a chicken and egg. Okay. Is it, do we need more people here first, or do we need those before people want to live here? What comes first? And it's kind of this a little bit of both needs to happen at the same time, right? But
think of mixed use spaces then, right? Like if we can, if it already has a really saturated one typology, then let's put in something else, or let's bring in a mixed use. The first floor is activated.
Right.
You've got retail or restaurant on the first floor, and then you design the more private, quieter zones, as you'll say, in the higher levels. This is a good sustainable model.
Yeah.
But I would love to have more mixed use
Yeah.
buildings in our downtown core. And I think we need a grocery store,
At least some sort of small
bodega,
market
or
like that.
like
Yeah,
market that
bodega.
you can
Yeah, I
walk
love
to.
it. Yeah. Well, you mentioned East Hickory, and I've kind of made this point. I think when I sat down with another guest here before, but that did really transform that area, and that feels very different than any other direction from the square. I mean, there's businesses just off the square in other directions that are really struggling. It doesn't have the same walkability or the same feel or same parking, even, all those things that East Hickory has. And so talk to me about why do you think what they did there, should it be replicated everywhere? And
I mean,
what would it do?
There's some statistics on the financial income also. I mean, it's good for everybody to have more tax dollars, but the city invested in improving that street. They took a risk, and then they were able to prove that over so much time that was paid back tenfold in the development that happened in that area. I would repeat that everywhere. The biggest thing, I don't know exactly how to solve this problem, is our two main throughways.
Yeah.
And how they don't feel walkable. They don't feel safe.
Talking about Locust and Elm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. If I could change anything, I would improve Locust and Elm. And
well, they were essentially, I mean, decades ago, they became thoroughfare. They were designed to say, yeah, these are thoroughfare. This is how you get through town. And so they made it that way. Well, now I don't think we need it that way, right?
No,
so
we
we need to slow things down, kind of give it a road diet, squeeze
There's like
things
4
in.
lanes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a boulevard right here on South Elm. I mean, it's just
and nobody really uses it because of the way that you at the end when it meets at Bell.
Yeah,
there's nobody really on the one anyway.
Yeah, no, I
think that's limiting our
Morgan for mayor.
Our potential growth as a city is just, and when the city is not walkable, it limits developers being interested.
Yeah, it does.
We need more trees and bike lanes and nice paths. And I think we have to have cars, but we don't need a 4-way lane.
Yeah. Well, I think there's no. I mean, I as a developer, prospective investor in the downtown area. I mean, on the square, I love it. Or East Hickory, down that way, I love it. And then I like this South Denton or South Elm Street area that we're in, this little pocket that we're working. I just see a lot of upside in it. But the other directions from the square, I get pretty nervous. Depending on what you're needing from a retail standpoint, or walkability. It gets, and I know the city's got plans to make some significant improvements on McKinney Street, sidewalks and walkability there. That'll help, but. And some of it just happens developer by developer too, right? As things get filled in and there's some improvements made. But to me, you didn't ask me the question I asked you, but
I don't remember.
The question I wanted to ask you that I'm answering is some ways that we can improve things in the downtown area. No, but
it's hard. And that goes back to the conversation about working together. It is a collaboration. And I think you're doing great work of knowing all of those people at the city.
Yeah.
You, Brad, I'm doing my best, but we have to set goals together. We work towards it.
Yeah.
We try.
Yeah.
But,
well, so what cool projects are you working on now?
I'm working on so many cool projects.
Anything
my
you can talk about?
favorite one is with Brad.
No, I'm not fishing for that.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm pretty excited about the Daggett project in Fort Worth that we're doing with Alex and Lori.
Yeah.
Really excited about that.
Yeah.
But that's another adaptive reuse.
Adaptive
existing
reuse,
building,
urban kind of fill in, yeah.
Office, a restaurant, in an infill, walkable South Main area.
Right. That Bahamas project sounds pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I have two high-end homes in we'll say like high luxury residential, and those very time consuming and very detailed and time consuming in a great way. Like I love it. Sometimes you feel rushed through a project, and these two you're able to really think about it, very detailed. But these houses are in the $5 to $7 million price points. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But there's something to say about I love doing projects that impact a lot of lives, that a lot of people get to touch and see. Another project I'm really excited about is our other project that we we don't exactly know who the tenant is, right?
No, we don't.
We don't.
No,
But
we're looking for
it's-
tenants. Anybody knows one? No.
It's like this collaborative community space,
Yeah.
retail market
hmm
vibe. Maybe there's coffee shop in there, maybe not, maybe
Right.
in like a small, but a mixed use
Right.
in a sense. And it can change hands.
Yeah.
Like if there needs to be some rotation, maybe it could be some smaller incubator spots.
hmm
But a collaborative, I'm not describing this very
No,
well.
it's a little unique to describe, right? But yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a place where you've got almost like booths. You might think a booth rental in a salon, but it's not all salon. There might be a
Yeah.
hairstylist, there might be a tattoo artist, sure, but there also might be a guy who makes leather belts or
Mhm.
whatever over in this little space over
Yeah.
here and a coffee shop over there. But they've all got kind of a viable business already or
Yeah.
a good strong customer base where they're bringing in their people for their services,
Mhm.
and then they spill over into wanting to use the services of the others in
Yeah.
that space,
And it's a
vice
retail,
versa.
and it attracts everybody, and there's a common area.
Yeah.
We think art should be rotated. Some of
Yeah.
our local artists could be on display. A nice new skylight, bringing natural light into the area, and
Hoping it's one of those
market.
really market, but
Denton
really one
market.
of those kind of cool third place.
Third places.
Yes, third
Love our
places,
third
right?
place.
I mean, it's because coffee shops often are, so it will have that
Can you
hopefully
tell the
component.
podcasters, our listeners,
Yeah.
what is a third place, Brad?
Why don't you answer it?
A third place is the term that sometimes is used to describe not home, not work.
Yeah.
A third spot that you can meet
Yep.
without having to pay
Right.
money. So sometimes it's our public community environments,
Yeah.
like the library you can go in. It's a third place. Coffee shops are a 3rd
Mhm.
place. You do sometimes buy something, but you can go sit down and meet
Some
with-
people do pay. I mean, they might go
Mhm.
to a country club or something. That might
That's
be their
true.
third place
That's
or
true.
whatever. But yeah, those kind of places that you can meet and gather, or maybe you want to be by yourself, but you're not at
It's not-
home
or
and you're
at
not
work.
at the office, right?
Mhm.
And so that third place. So I'm hoping it's kind of all of that wrapped into one.
It'd be awesome. We're very
so
excited about it.
It is cool. I appreciate your help on it. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Well, I want to just wrap up here, really. We've really enjoyed the conversation, but any final thoughts or advice you gave some good advice in the beginning to those thinking about architecture. It's not
Oh,
for the faint of
man.
heart, but
Yes. I meet with young people all the time to talk about architecture.
Yeah.
One question I get is, do you ever question if it was the right thing?
Mhm.
And I always say yes every single year. I wonder, should I still be doing this?
Yeah.
I think I finally had a breakthrough where I felt confident in that at year 10. And I think in anything hard, it takes a long time to become the expert.
Yeah.
You're never an expert. But there's that rule of thumb, the 10,000 hours.
Yep.
You have to spend a certain amount of time on this thing to
Right.
feel like you can cruise, like that
Yeah.
you can get from the initial idea to the conclusion and it's really rewarding once
Yep.
you get there. I arrived there at some point,
Yeah.
and now it's fun, and I
Mhm.
feel competent, and I feel like I'm really giving back, and I feel purpose in my role and in my job, my life. So I'm really happy that I chose architecture, but for 10 years every year I thought, should I be doing something else?
Mhm. Well, I think that's good advice for people thinking about architecture or anything.
Anything.
Really, stick with something.
And
For
yeah.
5 to 10 years, and we tell this to young people that want to be in real estate. It's
Right.
the first 3 to 5 years, it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a lot of learning, and it's maybe not going to be much money. But once you kind of break through that ceiling
Mhm.
and you kind of get that expertise, so to speak, and that's true of any
And it's
industry.
connections and relationships and skills, but you have to love what you're doing.
Sure.
I would never, yeah. And sometimes money decides for you if you need
Yeah.
to make a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to do what it decides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's your favorite? You got a favorite restaurant, coffee shop, little spot,
Oh,
little
man.
market of any
this
sort?
was
you
so
need to-
hard. I think that, I'll just say 3 restaurants that
Okay.
I frequent. I frequent Aglio, which is a pizza place.
Oh, this is over on Congress?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Up
Mhm.
north a little bit.
Yep.
I adore that place.
Yeah, that is a
It's
cool place.
so good. The Pizza's so fresh. Everything is, the ingredients
Is it like
are
a
minimal.
yoga studio by day or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then at night, they like have the lit candles and the
It's
napkins
great
and the
food.
pizza. And they have like 3 wines that you can choose from, and everything's amazing.
Mhm.
So if you haven't been to Aglio, I highly recommend going there.
It's a good one.
Morgan's favorite spot. I also eat a lot of Thai Square and Cartwrights. I go to Cartwrights a lot,
Yeah.
as does Brad. Because we see each other at Cartwrights a lot.
That's true.
For
Guilty.
coffee, I frequent all of the coffee shops, and I'm just a huge fan of what Triptych is doing.
Yeah.
I think that they are doing something unique.
Triptych is
And
awesome.
they make really good coffee.
Mhm.
We buy our beans from them. We have a small coffee thing at home, and
Yeah.
we get our high quality coffee beans from Triptych.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. There's some good shout outs, some good options for people to check out. Well, you get a hat. I don't
get a
know if you
hat?
wear hats, but you get a Norman Oscar hat. Every guest does. So
I want the red one.
you want the red one.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Red's my energy for the year. This is my color for the year.
That's it. All right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Morgan, this has been a blast. Thank you for just sharing your thoughts on just your profession in general, your business in particular, as well as kind of Denton and what you're seeing. I think it's been enlightening for me, and not just this conversation, but working with you in general. It's got me more excited about working on projects. I know who I can go to help me kind of flesh out those ideas and really bring it to life. So
as always, it's an honor. Thank you so much.
yeah, anybody listening that's kind of got an idea of sounds like any project type, call Morgan. How do they get a hold of you, by the way?
I think the best way is our website, mkoastudio.com.
Okay.
There's a contact form you can fill out.
All right.
And then I'll email you.
Check it out.
Thank you.
Well, if you didn't know Morgan Kennedy and her MKOA studio before today, now you do. Thanks for joining us.